Hi, welcome back to DS Tech Mirror. This channel is dedicated to deliver content related to SharePoint customizations. And in the last video, we have seen how to fetch user-related information from the current logged in user. And we have used user function for that. So using user function, we were able to fetch details such as email, full name, and image. But in order to fetch quite a lot more information apart from these three information, we have to use a special connection called Office 365 Users connection. The Office 365 user connection will provide us with the available functions using which we will be able to fetch the user properties of the currently logged in user or any other users for which the user properties are to be retrieved. So, the available functions which this Office 365 users connection provides us are direct reports, manager, my profile, search user, user profile. So using my profile, we can fetch a lot more information about the currently logged in user. Using manager function, we can fetch the manager details of the currently logged in user or any other user whose email ID we will be passing as an input parameter. And direct reports, similarly, we will fetch the direct reports details of the user information that we pass as input. Similarly, we have user profile, which fetches the user details of the user information or the email ID that we pass as input. And we have another function called search user, using which we can search the users based on a search term. Be it the first name, last name, whatever it is, the search term is, using that we can search user from our Azure AD. So these are very useful functions which are provided by our Office 365 connection. In this video, we will be focusing on the manager function. So using which we will be fetching the details of the manager of the user input that we have passed. So let's get started. For the demo, we have a simple employee information table, and you can see over here the employee number, employee name, email, unit, department. So this information I have fetched it from a SharePoint list. But the brilliant thing is this information is getting fetched based on the manager function, which is a part of Office 365 users connection. So I have also fetched more details apart from the manager information. So on clicking this, we will get more details of the manager that we have clicked, like name, email, department, contact, job title, country, pin code, state, city, street. So this is not the only details that can be fetched from the manager function. There are a lot more details, but for demo purpose, I have restricted to only these 10 details. So offline, you can explore fetching more details. So this is the scenario that we will be focusing to achieve in this video. So let's get started. I'm going to open a new app. In a tablet mode and name it as Office 365 Users, and I'm going to use manager function in that, so I'll be specific. So we have our Power App ready. Now the blank canvas app is ready. And for this demo, I am using employee details SharePoint list. And inside the list, I have already pre-filled it with a few employee details. Okay, I am going to bring these details here inside my Canvas app in this format. So I have fetched only few details which are necessary, and in order to fetch manager information or any Office 365 user function information, we just need the email ID of the user that for which we are fetching the details for. Okay, so this is the important input parameter that we require. Others are just for the display purpose. So I am going to do the same thing over here. Bring in all these labels inside this function. So what I'm going to do, in the screen 1, I'm going to insert a gallery function, a blank one. So inside the gallery function, I'm going to add labels. So before adding the data source, I have to connect to the SharePoint connection. So using the connectors here, I'm going to add the SharePoint connection. I'm going to select the appropriate list from the SharePoint site. This is my list. I got the connection added. Now since it is an empty gallery, I'm not able to see anything. So inside this gallery, I'm going to add labels. So when you click on the label, this is not added inside the gallery. Let me add inside the gallery. Now you can see when I add it inside the gallery, I'm getting some sample text. This is because I didn't connect the gallery with the data source. So let me delete the label, connect it with the data source. And now it is connected. You can see items, employee details. And here inside this, now let me add label. You can see the name has appeared, employee name has appeared. And when I click another label, the employee ID. So let me rearrange it. Then again an label. I'm getting the name. I'm getting the unit. Let me expand it. And another label. Because it is connected to the data source, I'm able to fetch all the details from the list directly. So let me add these labels and delete whatever is not necessary later. Fine. Now we have fetched too many details, so I'm going to delete those unnecessary details. I don't want the code of this is the code, unit code. I don't want unit code or department code. I just want unit and department and name and the first two columns. So I have employee ID, I have employee name, I have this mail. This particular column is a user column, which is a people picker column. So I'll tell you like how we can fetch the information from the people picker column. So people picker column is nothing but it shows the full name of the user, but this particular value has many elements attached to it. So let me show you. Before that, this is the unit value and this is the unit code. I don't want unit code value, and this is the department value. If you are in doubt, you can check this item dot department, this item dot unit, this item dot name. Now it is showing the display name. When I choose the other one, when I click dot, you can see claims, department, display name, email, job title, picture. So these are the user information which can be fetched from a people picker field. Now I'll go with the email because email is necessary for me to be given as input for fetching other details. Okay. Now you can see all the details have come, like all 5 users have come. We have 6 users. Let me check. Yes, all 6. We have all 6 users. Now we have the data. I am going to make it look like something like this. So I will add headers, which is nothing but some labels outside the gallery. I will align it. I will increase the font size. Then I will have something like this. So let me start doing it. So guys, this is how after formatting and adding few labels as headers, our content looks like this. Now in the manager email column, I'll be adding the data and for which I'll be adding a connection. So let's see how we can include the Office 365 user connection. Similarly, similar to how we added the SharePoint connection, click on the data source, add data. Here under the connectors, you can see Office 365 users and you have in the description Office 365 user connection provider lets you access user profiles in your organization using Office 365 account. So you can perform many such actions like you can get details of a profile, users manager or direct reports, just as we saw in the introduction. So I'm going to select this, choose it, and now it is added, right? So after adding this, I will be able to use the Office 365 user connections available functions. So here, what I will do, I will add another label inside the gallery itself. So inside the gallery, I'll be adding another label. This is the label. And as you see, it is taking in some other unit code value, but I'll not be having this value. So now let me have this value. So using Office 365 connector, you can see over here after adding the connection, I'm able to see these functions. So Office 365 users and the available functions are direct reports v2, manager v2, profile by profile v2, relevant people. This is some new addition over here. My trending documents, search user, trending documents, update my photo. So since Power App is evolving, we have many such kinds of functions. But the major functions for user fetching is the manager, direct reports, we have a search user, and we have user profile. So for now, in this video, we have manager and we'll be using manager, and inside that we have to provide the user ID. So the user ID will be the email, which is the text, this one. You can copy it from here or you can use this item.mail.email. So here we'll be using that as a reference, and you can see this formula uses scope which is presently not supported for evaluation. That is okay. But you can see the data type is record. But this is a label. So this particular function will fetch you a record which is nothing but the manager account details, like all the other properties, every property of the user's manager. So every property of the user manager presented as a record with multiple columns, multiple values. So we need a single value. For that we'll be having the dot operator over here, and you can see what all values you can fetch. You have city, company name, country, department, display name, given name, ID, job title, mail, nickname. There are so many details. out of which I'll be displaying mail. Okay. As soon as I do that, you can see the mail information has popped right away. Now let me do the formatting here as well. And since these are fetched using manager, I would like to differentiate this column from the rest of the column which was fetched from the SharePoint connector only. So let me differentiate. I'll be using a different color. Let me say blue. And here, let me give it a light gray. Let's see how that works. Let me go with a blank one. And let me give a bold format. Fine, this will work. Now, I want this field to be clickable. So next, what I'm going to do, I'm going to make this field as clickable. So in order to make this field as clickable, what I'm going to do, these are labels, so I'm going to add the logic inside on select. But when I add it on select, when I hover over this information, it will not change my mouse pointer. And in Powerapps, you cannot change the mouse pointer for any control like we do in any other coding scenarios. So for that, a hack is that you can, instead of using a label, you can go in for a button. So let me go in for a button because in the last scenario, you can see over here, when I hover over it, the mouse pointer is not changing because these are labels. So now let me try with a button. Okay, this is a small tip over here. Let me delete it because you cannot alter the control also after you insert the control. So let me go in for a button. Yes, we have a button. You can change the look and feel of the button. So that is not a problem. Similar to what we have done in the text field, we will be doing it over here. The text field will be Office 365 connector users.manager and this will be this.mail.email, and in this, from the details, I'm going to pick only the mail information. Okay. Now, as soon as we have clicked on it, you can see the details have popped up, and you can change the look and feel of this button. Okay. I have to make the text color as dark blue and the field as this and the border none. Perfect. Now you can see, and I want to, yes. And the text alignment also I have aligned. And if you want to resize the font, I will resize it to 16, 18, fine. Now this particular button control looks similar to the label control, but with an advanced feature, which is you have this feature. I need not write logic on the hover, like on hover, nothing. So it acts as a button, and this is perfect. And it doesn't look like a button. Fine. Next, what we are going to do, we are going to add another screen. Similar to this, on clicking this, it is navigating to a screen and we are fetching the manager details. So similar to this, we'll be adding a new screen. And to add a new screen here, we can click it and add a blank screen. So in the blank screen, I'll be adding details as such. I'll be adding the header indicating the screen name and I have the field names indicating the properties of the manager details. Okay, and a back button. So I'll quickly add the fields over here, which is nothing but labels. One label for the header, the other labels, I need 5 of them. Let me align them. And you can select all these 5, copy and paste it, and drag it over here. Okay, I want it for the values also, and again copy and paste, paste, yes, fine. We have a structure similar to this now, and I want all these text to have a different format, which is bold. So in Powerapps, you can select multiple controls and you can perform UI changes. That is really easy and quick. I'll make it bold and make it 16. And the same here. I'll select all the value labels, make it 16, but I don't want them bold. Fine. And this one should be 18 and bold. Now, let's provide values to these labels. Manager details. And this should be name, email, department, contact, job title, street name, we have city, we have state, then country, pin code. Now, we have to provide values to these fields. So, we will be doing the same thing. Office 365 users dot manager, and we have to provide some ID. User ID, we have to pass it, and you can fetch the properties over here. But how we will be passing the user to this screen? In order to pass the user that has been selected to this screen, we will be doing a small logic. So on this button click, you can see a function called on select. So on this button click, which is on select, we are going to create a collection and we are going to initialize it with the user details over here. Why are we giving collection and why are we not giving text? We can provide a text field also. So if we are going to use a text field like current user, current selected user, and we can provide the information like this. This dot, this item dot mail dot, and you can provide email. So this is nothing but text. This text field has been saved in this current selected user, and this value you can pass it. Like this is a global variable that will be available between the screens, and that you can fetch it from the other screen as well. Or you can do one thing. You can do it as a collection. How to create a collection? Clear collect be, you can use collect also, and you can use clear collect. But why I am using clear collect? Because this is a gallery, and every time when I click it, even after the first time, after the first click, anyway, I want the collection to be cleared. So in the first click, the current user will be collected. On the second click, if I don't use clear, it will be appended to the already existing collection. So you have to use clear collect in a gallery logic where you create collection inside a gallery according to your logic, whether you want a unique value or whether you want to append details. It depends on the logic. So here I'm going to use clear collect. See, it is simple. You can use text field also. That will be easy for our purpose. But I'm using clear collect because I want to introduce the collection concept as well. So clear collect and collection current, selected user. Selected user, current user, anything. And now this will be this item dot name. So this is a record which will be added as a collection. And on clicking this, a collection will be created, and I want it to navigate to the next screen. Screen 2. Screen 2. Without quotes. Fine. Now let us check. So on clicking this, it is getting navigated to the manager details. Fine. So in the manager details, let me add the details. So inside it, I need user ID that can be fetched from the collection that we have just created. So when I write collection, see, I can see the collection which was created in another screen. So these are global variables, global parameters that you can fetch between screens. So this dot, and you can see these are the record details that are present inside our current that mail value. Here I'm going with email, and after this, since this is a label, I have to provide the name. So let me click on this. Okay. So when you try to use collection, you can see over here, there is one thing that you have to do. This particular thing is just table. I need user ID. For that, in order to fetch one item from the collection, you have to use this first function. So all these intermediate functions that we are seeing over here, I'll explain it in a separate video when we deal with connections and collections and variables. But right now, the logic is like how we are fetching the manager. So I'm introducing a complex concept which will serve as an introductory for a next video. But you can gain insights from how I fetch the first record from this collection. Now when I select this, you can see now from table it has changed into a record. Record is nothing but the row value of the table. It's not the entire collection of records, it is just a record. Okay. Now from this record I'm fetching email. Now it comes to text. So collection is a table, and from the table, even if I do email, it is just a table because it is a collection of emails. And from this table, I'm taking the first record, and from the first record, I'm fetching out the email parameter. So this is how you can fetch the value. And now the error has gone, and on this detail, the fetched manager details, I need display name. Right? Now you got the display name. Let me copy the first part because for every other value, the first part remains the same. Here we will be fetching email. Email is like mail over here. We know this function, like fetching mail, we know, right? We have already seen before. Let me adjust this. Fine. Here department, again dot department, and here contact dot phone number. You see you have many options: business phone number, mobile phone number. Let me click mobile phone number. Yes. Job title, job title, dot. We need street name, right? You can see over here we don't have street address, which is present in the manager fields. Okay, for now, let me leave this. Let me give city. We have city. Let me give the state name. We don't have state as well. Fine. We have country. We have country. And do we have pin code? We have postal code. Now, here we don't have a state name, or we don't have street name, but we can bring these details, street name and state name. How can we do that? So when we saw the functions from from Office 365 users, you have also seen a manager and manager V2. So there are quite other functions which are covered in V2. Let me show you. V2. So what all functions are there in V2? V2 has many other functions, apart from the functions provided by the manager. Like you have about me, you have my site, you have preferred language, preferred name, you have state, street address. So all these extra details are present inside V2. So in order to fetch your particular information, in order to fetch the details which you require, you have to juggle between manager and manager version 2, V2, in order to check which function will retrieve the required property. Okay. Now you can see all the details are fetched right now. The last one is to add a button to go for a back functionality. So on select, I'll be navigating to screen 1. Navigate, and you have screen 1. Perfect. And let me change the text. It is back. So we have completed the requirement. We have brought in a few details from the lot many properties that is being fetched using the manager and manager v2 function. So we have jotted some of the information in this screen, and we have given the logic also. And let us see how the functionality works. So we got this information from the SharePoint connector, and this particular information is got using the Office 365 users connection. On selecting this information, the current user which is clicked, the current item which is clicked is being saved using a collection variable. And using a collection, I am passing the details, collection user information details to manager and manager v2 functions respectively, and fetching all these information from the functions and using the Office 365 users connection. Test user 1, I'm getting the test user connection. There is a bit of UI problem over here, but we have the required information. So guys, this is how we can fetch user information using the special connection called Office 365 user connection. And using the available functions, there are a lot more functionalities and requirements or business logics that you can imagine and write and fetch user related information and do manipulations in a number of ways. So in this video, we have seen manager and manager v2 functions. In further videos, we will be exploring the other functions as well. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Much love. Keep learning.